Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums. I want to share with you the beginning of a series starting today called Sandy Trefker's 13 Frights Before Halloween 2022. There is a group of about 11 of us that are going to be sharing Halloween projects with you once a week until Halloween. So every Monday we're going to post a project for Halloween. Usually I do a 13 mini albums of Halloween. I forget what I called it last year, but I've decided to join this collab and show you different projects besides mini albums. So I have used items in my stash, and I'm going to try to use them up, believe it or not. I have a large plastic container, and it is time for them to all be gone. What I used for this was a Dollar Tree haunted house wooden cutout. I don't know if they're going to have them this year, but I thought I'd do this one first so you can get an early start and start looking for it if you want to do this project. And then I just used scraps of paper I had in my stash. I covered the front of the house with this paper with the leaves, and it's got spiders, and I thought that would be fun for the front. And then I put this spooky paper which coordinated with it for the very top. And then the top I had some iridescent black and silver paper that I really just made sort of a triangle and adhered it to. It's a little tricky because these had a little bit of a curve to it, but still it wasn't too difficult to do and it came out nicely. You'll see I also, the cutouts, when I cut this out with an X-Acto, had these pieces. I cut them in half and made little cutouts for the shutters and glued them on. I had a bat in my stash. I had this sticker in my stash. I thought that went over nicely. And you can't really see it, but you'll see it in some of the photos. I had some acetate, and this one is black with spider webs in it, and you can't see it, but it makes a really smoky appearance. And inside I have some ghosts I hung with fishing wire, and you can barely see them inside, and it's sort of fun that they're peeking through. I'll show you another side. They're peeking through the windows. Now I made excuse me, a 2-inch wall. I just cut 2 inches of chipboard. I just used some scraps I had. Put 1-inch pieces of cardstock that I had scored at 1/2 inch and adhered that to the inside of the house so then I could put 2 of these together, and it's really very strong. So so that was cool. So this is the other side. I decided one side was sort of spooky and creepy, and then this side is going to be fun with traditional Halloween colors. I've got this paper, and I don't know the makers of these papers. I've had them in my stash for quite a while. So this is the purple with some spider webs, and then I have orange with white polka dots. I just took a pen in this case and drew the shutters on for this side. I had a sticker in the stash that said scary, and I had some of these cute Halloween spiders with gems on the tail of the spiders, or whatever you want to call it, that I added to that. I also just cut this paper for these 3 eaves and added it just to add a little bit of extra texture and dimension to it. So here inside you can probably see one of those ghosties peeking out. And as I said, I did attach it with some fishing wire, so you know it's relatively clear. You could use thin thread as well. There's 2 sides to these, and I glued the fishing wire, excuse me, inside. Let's see if this guy will come out and say hi to us. See, well, he's peeking out, just letting you know that he's there. He really doesn't want to come out and meet everyone. One side is black and one side is done with white paper on these 2. Again, they were just pieces I had left over from my stash. I thought the dark side, I wanted to sort of hide it and didn't want you all to to see it that clearly, just then every once in a while you'll catch a glimpse of the ghost inside. I did also cover the insides of the wooden shapes, and this one I used the same paper here. It was just orange with white dots on it, just because you wanted some bright cheerful color inside there. And on the inside here, I don't know if you can see it here, but it's just a dark gray paper with moon and stars. So again, trying to keep it that eerie textured feel. So as you can see, some of this video is me showing you a walkthrough of how I made the project. It's super simple. You just glue the paper onto the wooden shape, and then I used an X-Acto to cut out the windows and the sides. So these are the shutters, and I just took the cutout pieces from the windows, cut it in half, and just made sort of slits in the paper with maybe 1/8 of an inch going up on each side of the slit, just so I had some room to fold them up. I had this translucent paper, and this one has spider webs on it, that I'm using behind some of the windows on this side of the house. I didn't put any on the other side. Here I'm just taking 1 inch by 5.5 inch strips of cardstock, and on the right side you see 5.5 by 2 inch. Those are black chipboard. So I scored the 1 inch strips in half and glued half of it to the chipboard, and then half of it is going to be glued to the house that's already been covered with paper. So that actually makes a house that stands up by itself, and then I was able to cover the roof with 2.5 inch pieces, and I guess you'll have to figure out exactly what size, because it depends on what size the roof eaves would be. So that is my first Fright before Halloween. Again, this is part of Sandy Trefker's 13 Frights before Halloween 2022. And I hope you will subscribe to all of the other creators making Halloween projects, and check out what they make with either items from their stash, or some people may even have brand new paper. But I'm going to see what I can do with what's in my stash first. Probably as I get closer and more Halloween paper comes out, I will succumb to shopping for it and see what we get. And that's what I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fabulous day.